Cause, a principle, aim, or movement that because of a deep commitment, one is prepared to defend or advocate. Karibu. Karibu is a Kiswahili word that means welcome. Welcome, you found yourself in a peaceful place, a place where you can grow and develop, and we hope grow and develop to your fullest potential. This is a podcast that we hope will expand your mind and raise your consciousness. Welcome to The Cause, conversations on music, history, and democracy.
Of where we are today, the Black Student Athlete Summit.
Welcome to Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago. But I want to tell you, you are in Chicago, and everything about Chicago is a learning experience. So learn here, engage here, and be present here.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome back to the Cause podcast. We are joined in the studio today by some really, really special people. A brother I've known for a good while now, my brother, my friend, DaWon Baker. If you would start us off, can you tell him just a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. Dr. Rabaka, been a couple of years and really appreciate you being alongside the fight with me here at CU. So I'm DaWon, so I serve as our Associate Athletic Director for Impact and Strategic Engagement here at CU Athletics. Been here for about 5 years almost. We're going into year 5. So came here off the heels of COVID, oversee all of our identity, affinity, belonging, diversity, equity, inclusion initiatives in CU Athletics. Also oversee our strategic plan in CU Athletics. But just working to make sure that our student athletes have a place that they feel like they can thrive, and that we do programs, initiatives, spotlights, engagement for all of our student athletes, staff, coaches, and try to create an environment for anybody to feel like they can be a CU fan too, externally, right? So it's a lot of things that go into that, but excited to be here. I got a couple of students and student athletes that I work with here today, and would love for them to share more about themselves too.
Wonderful. Let's start with Sydney.
Absolutely. So my name is Sydney. I'm a short sprinter on the track team. I'm majoring in psychology and then also pursuing the pre-med track and pursuing a certificate in neuroscience and behaviors.
All right. Next to Sydney, we have Sophia.
Hi, yeah. My name's Sophia. I'm a senior here. I'm studying business, and I'm one of the strategic impact interns. I've been working with DaWon for the past 2.5-ish years. I have a minor in multicultural leadership, and I'm pursuing a job in business and sports.
Wow. That's what's up. I'm delighted to have y'all here today. Welcome to The Cause. Welcome to the studio. Welcome to this recording session. So today, we want to talk a bit about the Black Student Athlete Summit that you all attended. And I'm hearing some sparks were flying and that it was a real incredible experience for you all. And so there's a sense in which this show is about the Black experience in sports, but in particular, we want to focus on the Black student athlete experience. And so would you like to share a little bit about what the summit is?
Absolutely. Black Student Athlete Summit is its own individual organization and entity now. Actually was started by a group of professors and administrators at the University of Texas at Austin. I would say the lead architect, the person who started it, his name is Dr. Leonard Moore. He's also a professor at the University of Texas. Dr. Moore's my guy. He's actually spoke here at CU, I want to say twice in athletics.
I wish I would have known.
And this was a couple years back when the summit was still kind of gaining some relevancy and all those things. But summit just passed 10 years this year.
10 years.
Yep. So inaugural summit was in 2015 at UT Austin, and is exactly what it sounds like. It's created for the advancement and the betterment of Black student athletes around the country. Wow. Internationally too, but a lot of the attendees are really based in the U.S. who come from Division I, Division II, Division III, NAIA, JUCO, the whole ranks. And so Dr. Moore, when he started it, one of the things he said was, as a professor, He's taught at a lot of large institutions, University of Texas, LSU, was a grad student at The Ohio State. And so really had an affinity, had an attraction to athletics and worked with athletes pretty often. He said, man, I think there's a very, very unique experience for Black student athletes, especially at this level, and I feel like we need to pour more into them. And so him and a couple colleagues decided to create the summit. My first time going, I went for the first time in 2017. When I went, it was maybe 175 people. This past year, when we went at CU and took a couple of athletes, I want to say it was 1,400 people that were there.
1,400.
So it's exploded in popularity, and it's been one of my favorite events to participate, to go not only as an administrator to learn myself, but also to expose students to like, hey, this is what is out here. This is what it is that you can really participate in, engage in, get, and really get some game from some folks who are in the industry, who really have some skin in the game too, who've been places and seen some things that can really share what it's like to be, trying to get to where you go. And so continues to grow. This year will actually be at the University of Oregon in May. Wow. Looking forward to sending a new group of student athletes to go. We send athletes every single year and a half for the past couple of years.
That is incredible.
But it's Black Student Athlete Summit is a gem. It's one of my favorite development opportunities, again, for myself, but also for students to participate in.
Can I tell you something that stood out to me when looking at the website and looking at the programming and everything? It's the core pillars: academic excellence, mental health and wellness, financial literacy and entrepreneurship, and career development. I mean, for me, this was just really incredible to see some real thought has gone into these pillars. Do they have workshops on these? How do they sort of share, implement these pillars as the summit is going on?
The summit has essentially multiple layers to it and multiple tracks that you can take, right? So the way that the summit has been constructed historically, or at least the past 2 years, has been there have been main stage sessions. So that's where every coach, administrator, student athlete are all there together in the same room, listening to the same speaker, same topic, et cetera. Then there's breakout sessions specifically for student athletes, and then breakout sessions specifically for staff and faculty that attend.
Wow.
And so through those 4 pillars, you will see breakout sessions and workshops and main stage sessions that tie into those 4 pillars every single year. This is something that you see pretty consistently in all the individuals who are crafting the speaker lineup, the workshops. Those 4 pillars are always coming into consideration when they're trying to figure out, okay, who's going to be the ones that are presenting. And then lastly, there's also this thing called the Pro Day.
Pro Day.
Okay. So for Pro Day, the student athletes essentially can choose different avenues and areas that they have interest in to be able to hear from somebody who sits directly in that area.
Wow. Okay.
To learn more about what it's like to be in the area and what I would call essentially like a closed door conversation. So I won't share everything about it because I think Sydney, Sophia,
we're about to pass
have
the
more
mic.
about it.
We're about to pass the mic.
I'll allow them to share a little bit more about the experience and how it is that they experienced it too. But those 4 pillars do show up very consistently throughout the summit.
I know that Professor Leonard Moore does a lot of work in terms of the Black Power movement and everything. And so it sounds like some of these pillars really are carried forward. And I like that it's so centralized. It's really logical, to be perfectly honest with you. So it's not simply sort of what folks might want. It also gives the student athletes some of what they need. Having said all that, we've got a new student athlete up in here with us. Please, would you share? What's up, brother? How's it going?
Doing all right. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, man. It's good to see you. I see you swole up over there. What's up, man? What's your name? What's your major? And what's your sport?
My name is Jeremiah Brown.
JB.
Yes, sir. Everybody call me JB.
Yes, sir.
Play on the football team, linebacker.
Okay.
And I'm a graduate student.
That's wonderful, man. Listen, welcome to the cause. Welcome to the podcast and everything. So we had just got to the point in the show where we wanted to hear from you all what some of your experiences were about the Black Student Athlete Summit. We were fixing to start with Sister Sydney. So what was your biggest takeaway?
I think my biggest takeaway from the summit was probably just in general that there are a lot of opportunities out there.
Good.
And there are a lot of people out there that I could talk to, network with, and kind of get those opportunities through. I think the summit like really helped me realize like, wow, there's actually like a lot of people that are here that are really like-minded and like going for the same goals. Yeah. And really just that like there's a lot of things out there.
Wow. Sydney, can I ask, was a summit like this and attending it with somebody like my brother, DaWon, was it even more meaningful because you're doing your sport at CU Boulder? I mean, was it that much more meaningful?
Yeah, I think it was. I mean, I feel like coming from PWI, like I very often like see like-minded people, especially who are also in like an athlete and also pursuing majors like mine.
Good.
So I think it was that much more meaningful because I was like, wow, there's actually people out here that are like me, think like me, and like have the same experiences.
Good, wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that. Sophia, you up next. Can you what was your biggest takeaway? What tell me about your experience. What did you walk away thinking and feeling?
I feel like the experience was kind of interesting for me because I obviously am not a student athlete here at CU. I grew up playing sports my whole life, but didn't pursue it with college. And being there, I think, gave me almost like a step up if I'm trying to work with athletes in the future and stuff, because I really got to step into their world and hear from them like as a peer. And like, especially, being able to be friends with athletes who already in the department, it was really nice getting to hear about like their experience handling academics and handling also being at a PWI and like those relationships that I feel like a lot of times sports professionals who aren't in sports don't always get that perspective. Wow. And you can almost see that on how they operate with student athletes.
Wow. So just for our listeners really quickly, so every time you and Sydney say PWI, they mean predominantly white institution. And that, for me, is what makes the Black Student Athlete Summit so powerful, is that we are in these spaces, and instead of looking at everything antagonistically or in some kind of depressing way, we are building community, we are networking, we see each other. Right now, y'all know they see you when you're on the track, when you're on the field, when you're on the court. We want to make sure that folks see you, and I mean your full humanity when you're not on the track, when you're not on the field, when you're not on the court, when you're not in the swimming pool, right? And for me, that's one of the reasons this is the first series of student interviews I'm doing on this podcast. I want to shine some light on the ways that you all are creating community, that you're pursuing degrees. I know that you are brilliant, right, and radiant, because I've been teaching you for 20 years out here. So it's really important for me to sort of use my platform to shine some light on your humanity. So you're not just, quote unquote, a student athlete. You're a human being first and foremost. Y'all are very proud to be Black because you went to the Black Student Athlete Summit. Holla! You went to the Black Student Athlete Summit. Without further ado, my big brother, and I mean big, no, I'm joking around, man. Jeremiah Brown?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, come on, man. Tell me, what was your experience at the Black Student Athlete Summit?
So this is my actual second time going.
Oh,
I went
excellent.
in 2023 with DaWon. I say this, like, just being, like they both said, at a predominantly white college, every time someone introduces you to something or a career fair, everyone in those high-power positions are, most of the time, not people of color, Black people.
Right.
And for, like, DaWon to tell you it, and like, hey, we got a Black Student Athlete Summit, it's going to be some people in high positions there looking to give back to you. You hear it, but it's like, okay, cool, blah, blah, blah. You're going to get the same spiel that you get at every career fair, like, just here's my business card, just email me, and you never hear back from them. But when we actually went on the trip, I was like, hey, make sure you talk to them. When they give you a business card, email them, they're going to hit you back ASAP. But it was more than just business cards. They were giving you phone numbers out, like personal phones, not work phones, personal phone sales, and tell you to hit them up any time of the day. Like, the person I connected with the most there, his actual name was Jeremiah Brown.
Oh,
it's crazy.
What?
Yeah. We still follow each other on Instagram. He texts me all the time to check up on me. I text him on Instagram when he's doing something great. Like, he was just at the Nike headquarters doing speaking with them. Yeah. He's a phenomenal motivational speaker. Right. And he showed me a different way of giving back to my community. Like, most athletes, when they give back to the community, it's just through like camps, have like fun days and everything. But he was showing you could do so much more with those fund days as far as education and giving game to them. There's more than life than just an athlete. You can pursue so many different things in life than just being a football player and looking on television. We have brains too.
Woo-hoo. He said, we got brains too, but that should be a slogan. We got brains too.
So I do want to add something specifically about JB that he didn't mention. And so JB went in 2023, his first semester here. And JB asked me to go again, and I originally told him no. And the part of the reason that I told him no, and a part of the thing I told him is like, yo, I really like to make sure that new people get to experience it in some way, shape, or form. And his immediate rebuttal was, okay, what if I get you some more people to go? Can I go then?
Wow.
And I said, sure.
I like that.
I said, all right, I'll work with you. And by the next day, he had 2 brand new people that was coming.
So he's a hustler.
Wanted to go, and he was like, "Hey, I got my people. Can I go now?" And I said, "Yeah, you can go now. You good." But he has been a really, really good example of not just saying stuff just to say yes and just wanting to be in the mix, but actually trying to take some stuff away from it. And the difference that he showed in the second time going compared to the first. Really impressed me a lot, and I think it impressed his coaches a lot too, just about who the person that he is. And so I'm gonna give him a couple flowers just for
beautiful, man.
Appreciate that.
So.
Thank you. Oh man, this is so incredible. This next question, I want to ask you all, and I'm pretty sure because my brother DaWon Baker teaches in the Critical Sports Studies program, he'd kind of know where I'm going to go with this. But I'm wondering about the long history of the African American athlete, of the black athlete in this country. Did you all have a sense of your inheritance as student athletes? And I mean, they was really shaking some stuff up, right? Certainly 50s, 60s, 70s, all the way through. So there's a path down which you all are going that other people have sort of opened it up for you. Do you have a sense of that? Do you get exposed to some of that at CU?
When we first got here, they showed us a video of like kind of the history here. And
good.
Like especially for Nebraska week, they showed us the history behind that. Black people, especially black student athletes in Boulder, weren't exactly welcome here when sports first started here in the early. I think it was like 60s, 70s, whenever it started. It was a very tight group of them, and they formed some type of alliance on campus. Can't really think of the name of it, but
the Black Student Alliance.
Yeah, on campus here, they formed it because
in 1969, if I'm correct.
Yeah, they formed it then, and it wasn't just student athletes, it was actually students. Because the ones that were black, most of them were student athletes, and it was probably like no more than 5 of them on campus. So it was a tight-knit family in there. Speaking for the Nebraska week, what kind of like made them all stick close together was when they kind of gained up against the quarterback, and they, showed the signs of them and everything. I don't know if y'all know about the history.
Please share.
So quarterback, he actually passed away. He had cancer, but he had a baby with coach's daughter. So Nebraska used that as fuel, and like Boulder, that struck up Boulder. Like nobody liked that in Boulder. Right. And Nebraska used that as fuel, had signs. And
it's messed up.
Yeah, and he had just passed before that game.
It's messed up.
Yeah.
Man.
So I don't want to know all the details and say the wrong thing, but I know kind of like just a broad statement of it, the history of it. I know for me that says a lot, just going out on the field. Like for them to go out there and play hard for him and go win that game, it instills a lot of me to go out there and play.
This is so powerful what you're sharing. I saw the ESPN documentary, The Gospel According to Coach Mack, and they detail a lot of this. What I also like that you're saying, that even though we might be at a PWI, there's a sense of family, culture, and community that's going on. And again, I want to shout out my brother, DaWon Baker, for, again, giving you all a sense of the longer tradition that you are inheriting, right? And the possibilities and the opportunities. So sometimes, and oftentimes it can be incredibly alienating. But if you know the right people, you working with the right folks around you, we have support. We honestly do have support. Or are we going to sort of take the opportunities that we have right in front of us? That was so powerful what you shared. Come on, sister. What? Tell me about you a psych major, so I know you about to mess my mind up. Go ahead now. Tell me about. Go ahead.
I think that it kind of reinstilled or allowed me to see that kind of, because I feel like, especially being in a major mainly that's just no POC at all. And then on top of that, like sometimes mostly men on top of that as well.
Teach. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Sydney. Tell the truth.
Yeah. It was really transformative for me to just actually see other people. Like I talked to a doctor that went to Princeton and got her master's degree and went to medical school at Harvard and stuff. And she gave me all the like life tools for like what I should do, like things that people I could reach out to and that kind of stuff. And I was just like, wow, like this runs deep. Like I love that there's so much more like just being at that conference than just that we're athletes. Like we're actually like multifaceted in many ways.
Yes.
Like we do this, we also do that. We're not
Yeah.
just running around and playing, like
Yeah.
throwing a football around. So I'm not too familiar with like CU history
Right.
on that front, but I know now, like you said, like you have to find your community.
Absolutely.
Like it's not going to be like you're at CU, like go to the things that DaWon has, or like go to the Black Students Alliance, like that kind of stuff. So
Right. DaWon, I'm coming back to you, sir. Since you're the ringleader of all of this, I got a question that some of their parents are going to want to know. So I'm finna turn some screws on you, sir. I'm joking. It sounds like they had an incredible experience. When they return, how does CU Athletics, and again, shout out to my brother Rick George, shout out to my brother Coach Prime and him, how does CU Athletics sustain that? How do they build on that momentum that's going when I'm pretty sure that's like coming down from a high. A conference like this, seeing so many beautiful Black people, and again coming back to Boulder, which has its own special challenges, whether you're a student athlete or not. How does CU Athletics sustain that? I know this is kind of your job, right? Part of your job. So I'm speaking directly to you, sir.
Yep. So it's multiple things, and I'll start by saying that the sustaining of the return doesn't stop. I think a lot of people have the assumption of you come back and you do something and you're all done, right? And that's not necessarily the case. But what we typically have tried to do historically since I've been here is when we get back, we schedule a meeting with Rick directly, our AD, and try to invite all of the attendees to share with him their direct perspectives, thoughts, opinions of how it was. I also always try to task the students who return with doing some type of project. Now, this year, the projects are still really in development, but I typically will say, hey, come back, think on it, let's develop and tinker with something. And then we got to year to enact whatever that project is, right?
Wow.
I will say the pod was one of the project outcomes is, hey, if you want to talk more about your experience or how do we bridge this with campus, how do we share the word a little bit more about the experience, and that came specifically with us coming on the pod. I would say the most immediate thing that we did when we got back, specifically for JB and two of our other football athletes, three of our other football athletes, Nana Watson, Dallin Hayden, and Colin Salter, they presented to the team what their takeaways were. And that drummed up significantly more interest for individual student athletes who wanted to attend or who want to attend now in the future. But usually we start off with that meeting with Rick, our athletic director, just again so that they can see the impact, or he can see the impact of first, and then try to develop some of those projects as we move forward each year by year. And they vary. So like a couple years ago, actually one of the first things you and I worked on together with the mixer for Black students and Black student athletes up in our rooftop.
That was beautiful. We got photos of that, bruh.
So one of those, that idea came from a student athlete who went to the Black Student Athlete Summit.
Excellent.
A couple years ago, we had a mentorship program here at CU Athletics called CU United Mentorship. We already had a student athlete racial and social justice council, if you will, called CU United. One of the individuals who was in that group, her name is Sterling Parker. She's now an athletic administrator working at Rice University.
Wow.
She attended and saw another school did a mentorship specifically for Black and minority student athletes, came back here and said, I want to start that. And so we created the CU United Mentorship program that her and one of my other staffers, DeAndre Walker, really led to his full implementation. Year by year, it varies, but that's usually the thing that we try to do is make sure that we instill some type of project, program, initiative that carries through the year after.
I love it.
And then we use that also as a talking point to the new crop of students who want to attend and use that as an example for them to want to get involved and to try to carry that on too once they finish off.
I really like that. So what you're saying is this may end up being an annual episode that we devote to the Black student athletes. So hey man, I'm all with it. To be honest with you, I've been teaching incredible student athletes here for 20 years. They have changed my life. They have schooled me They have so much to offer. And some of them, they not only have high athletic IQ, they have high IQ in general. Having said that, I'm segueing to you, Sister Sydney. JB, I got a question for you after this. Don't get mad. Well, hold on, wait. Now, I want to ask in specific. Black female student athletes often navigate multiple layers of marginalization: race, gender, sport. How does your programming or education, right, your curriculum, so what you do not simply at CU Athletics, but in the psych department, how does that account for your intersectionality, for your multiple identities? Do you feel like it does, or does it not? Could it be better? You can just speak freely.
Well, if I'm being very frank and honest, I don't think it does at all.
Wow. Okay.
So I feel like sometimes it's like I'm in a chem lab and I'm looking around, I'm like, dang, I'm the only I'm the only person of color in this whole place. Like, this is crazy. So it definitely, long story short, I'd say it does not. I often feel like I'm just like beating the odds in a way.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, I don't see other people here. It's like, yeah, it's just really isolating.
Okay. So I appreciate I think by us discussing it right now, I know DaWon well enough to where he's going to make sure Rick George and folks over there get a chance to hear some of this. You're a sophomore. Don't worry. Help is on the way. I hope you see the center that you're sitting in right now is reflective of institutional transformation, Sydney. They did not have this when I got here in 2005, 20 years ago. So we do, if we band together and we work together, we do have the power to change things. Sophia, I'd like to kind of reframe the same question for you, though, as somebody that supports Black female student athletes. How challenging is it? Do you also experience layers of marginalization surrounding race, gender, class? How do you feel like CU is accounting for your experience?
Yeah, I mean, I think being a Black woman here at CU is a different ballgame. It's a different experience that unless you are one, you just don't understand. And that's okay.
Yeah, okay.
But you just don't understand. So, ask a question or don't pretend.
Right.
It's one of the two.
Okay.
But I think there's not a lot of us here. And like Sydney was saying, about being in a class, it's the same way I'll go to Women in Business. I'm the only one. And usually, there's maybe another person of color. I am the only single one. Wow. And it almost brings your mood down. You're like, man, I ain't even trying to be here. If it's like I'm, center of the photo. All these things, it just kind of gets uncomfortable, which I think it drives me to give back to my community, but also student athletes, because what I'm facing, they're also facing on a public level. I think society, and we've gotten better, but society still sees them as a commodity and they can make money and all these things. But the NFL is still owned and these teams are still owned by, rich white men. And, there's a lot of systemic racism that we don't always comment on, especially with these times. And so I think being a Black woman here at CU, I see it from the ground, but I also can see it from the athlete's perspective of like, I just have it here at CU. They got the world.
Wow. Thank you so much for being so vulnerable and sharing that. I think that you all know, everybody in here knows that I'm a musician and I love music. And so as we begin to sort of, wrap things up, I'm going to start with you, JB. I want to talk about the role of music in your lives. Do you, is music central? Does it help to get you hyped before? Do you have a relationship with music and your athleticism?
Yeah. So before games, I like to calm down. For my game day routine, I like to put on some old school, like the Isley Brothers.
Oh.
Or like,
okay.
Since you know musician, then let's see who a good one you'll know. Miguel.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm definitely with it.
And I slow it all the way down. Like right before I go on the field, I put on just some slow blues or jazz, like some B.B. King or something.
Yeah. And so you and I both know sometimes that pulse, that 4/4, when you go down tempo, it helps us center ourselves in our own way. I think that there are a lot of black athletes who have their own quote unquote ritual, game day rituals, game day, prep situations. And it's a really, really powerful thing to think about the way that music is so integral to our lives, even to going out on the field and everything. Sydney, can I ask you the same question? Do you relationship with music? Do you use music to get hyped? Or
Yeah, I probably my Apple Music replay is like thousands and thousands of minutes of like just rap, because honestly, like when I'm working out, I can only listen to rap. Like before every race, like I can only listen to hardcore rap, or else I will not be able to sprint.
Tell us who.
Well,
Wait, I know. Wait, stop now, because your mother might listen to this.
she already knows.
Sydney's a young boy fan.
Sydney is a young boy fan. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what's up. Listen, however you get there,
Yeah.
to be perfectly honest with you, I think I teach hip hop here. So I teach a whole class. And I got a lot of people, women's basketball team, men's basketball team, football team, track. I got them coming from all over to rock hip hop with me. Sophia, can I ask about the role of music in your life and how you got a relationship with music? And if so, which kind of music?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I think for me, I'm a good in between the both of them. I'll always listen to the Tupac and like listen to like what he's saying, because I think it stays relevant,
Real.
But I like some Drake and some Kendrick too, and I like them both. I know that's controversial
right.
now, but I'm like, so y'all, the dust is settled, y'all
Thank
fine.
you. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think music it's always been the language of the marginalized since the beginning. And if you look at how all that stuff started, East Coast, West Coast, whatever, it's always been the people who ain't got much going on, and they let their stories be heard through the rhythm. So
listen, I really appreciate y'all sharing that with me. In my work, I'm a musicologist. That's just a fancy academic word that means somebody that studies music. In my work, I argue one of my main theses is that Black people can often sing what they can't say. I see athleticism similarly. At a time, let's say, as Kendrick Lamar would say, during the Reagan years, Jordan is flying through the air so much, they call him Air Jordan. Isn't it something? Right? I'm thinking about Coach Prime himself when he would hit the end zone. Did you ever see them dance moves? So he with his body, he is saying, right, nonverbal communication. He is saying or signifying, as my parents might say, he's signifying, right, with his body, right, moving. So there's some wisdom that comes through the rhythms and everything like that. And so for me, what y'all are doing is on such a high level. DaWon, I'm thinking about Todd Boyd's work when he wrote a book on the connections between the NBA, the rise of the Black NBA stars and rap music and everything. Do you have any thoughts about this, the connects between music and athletics?
Yeah, it's funny. I got this is another conference that other individuals went to. The NCAA does a conference called the Impact Forum, and it kind of sits at the intersection of inclusion and sport. And one of the presenters was, this was back in 2024, my old professor. His name is Dr. Keith Harrison. And what he studies is the intersection of music and sport. And so it's funny because I had two volleyball athletes that were with me, and both of them were taking some classes, and the professor, Dr. Harrison, was playing some videos of Shaq specifically. Like, hey, this is an example of a really, really high-level athlete who crossed over into music, and what you started to see is the blend of musicians and rap artists and sports stars start to kind of mix these worlds together, right? So I think it's funny that you brought it up in that aspect, in that context. But
are you ready to dive deep into the rich histories, cultures, and arts of Africa and the African diaspora? At the Center for African and African American Studies, affectionately known as The Cause, we're leading the way in research, arts, and student engagement at the University of Colorado, Boulder. The Cause is more than just a research center. It's a space where students, faculty, artists, allies, and activists come together to explore African and African American experiences, from historical legacies to modern cultural expressions. And at the heart of it all, our students, playing a central role in everything we do. They're the future of this important cultural legacy, working side by side with faculty on groundbreaking projects and events that impact not just the campus, but the community and wider world. Research projects and events that impact not just our beloved CU campus, but the community and world at large.
Our mission? To foster academic excellence, social responsibility, and artistic expression, with programs that inspire leadership and advocacy for social justice. Whether you're interested in visual arts, music, or deepening your understanding of African American culture, the Cause is the place for you.
But we can't do it alone. The Cause relies on the generous support of our community to continue making a difference. By giving to the Center for African and African American Studies, you help us expand research, create opportunities for artists, support our students, and drive meaningful social change. And right now, your gift will go even further. All donations will be matched by CU Boulder Chancellor Justin Swartz for up to $1 million or until May 30th, 2026. To make your impact today, visit colorado.edu/center/cause and click on Support the Cause. Every contribution, large or small, brings us closer to a future of unity, knowledge, and transformation.
So, if you're looking for a community where history, culture, and creativity converge, visit the Center for African and African American Studies at CU Boulder. Come join the Cause and be a part of a movement for unity, knowledge, and social change.
Learn more and give today at colorado.edu/center/cause. We can't wait to welcome you to the Cause.
Here's a special question for Sydney and Sophia. In terms of the Black Student Athlete Summit, was there a workshop or a lecture or a seminar that you are training that you all attended that really stood out to you, that really made an impression on you?
I think for me, I attended during Pro Day. They had a bunch of like Black former student athletes come and teach about how like they got into medical school and the transition from collegiate athletics to medical school, and like what kind of extracurriculars and that kind of stuff they were able to fit in their schedule. And I found that to be really helpful for my future. Like, not only was I able to like take in all the information, but also on top of that, like I got to speak to them, people who have like businesses and are like opening their own practices and stuff like that. So not only was it like, hey, here's this information, but it's also like, if you need to shadow and like you want to take a little trip to California, like this is able to happen. That was probably my most transformative workshop.
Wow. How about you, Sophia? Anything really stand out for you?
Yeah, I think one thing that also stood out to me was the Pro Day sections. I think it was a really good way to, and DaWon mentioned this, but in a organized and small setting, really connect with people. And I was able to make really good connections with professionals, with agents who work for the NFL and for NBA.
I'm sorry, you said agents?
Yeah. Yeah. and I'm trying to go the NFL route, football route, and like being able to talk to people who work in that, who can tell you, you in for a rough ride. It's a hard work, but it's worth it. And we see you and we're here to support you. And like getting those connections was really important because, you know, it's who you know. It's always who you know, and who you know helps you get by too. It gives you that support. So
wow. So it sounds like that's that career development pillar, right? And for me, this is really important. I think that, again, I've been at CU for 20 years. I've seen the way a lot of folks, they get models for what it is that they want to do, and they get a lot of tools, and they get a lot of career development, even when it's not called, right? Career development. What you all are doing, what makes it really unique to me, what makes it really, really important is that you're getting opportunities that you otherwise may not be able to get, and you're getting them at CU, right? So you're getting them here under the auspices, if you will, of the University of Colorado Boulder. For me, that makes it even more special. Maybe it makes it even more an act of resistance, if you will.
Yeah. And I think even with that, like, to shout out DaWon, you know,
Mm-hmm.
at least for me, I'm not a student athlete, and he, you know, I applied to a grant to come to this summit, and, you know, he said, if you get that grant, we got you, we're taking you. And he's also been the one who's helped me set up what I want to do with my career, find also Black community here. And, you know, he's been more than just a boss, but also a mentor. And so, you know, and those are hard to come by.
It's real.
Especially at
That's real.
PWIs when
That's
people
real.
don't look like you.
Yeah. All right. So we've just spent some considerable time talking about the Black Student Athlete Summit. And Brother DaWon, how do people get in touch? How do they get there?
Yeah. So the first thing I would tell you is if you are interested in attending, participating, sponsoring, whatever, bsasummit.org is the best place for you to go. First off,
bsasummit.org.
bsasummit.org. Due to contrary belief, most people assume that it's only for Black individuals.
Okay, teach now.
That's not true.
Spill the tea.
Now, the content, the structure, the flow, it is tailored to the Black student athlete, but it is not only for the Black student athlete.
It's kind of like the center that you're sitting in
Just
right
like the
now,
cause.
right?
Just
So
like the
yeah,
cause,
it's for Black people,
Yes.
but it's also for allies
It's
and
for-
anybody
yes.
that.
Yes.
Go ahead, brother.
Now,
Teach.
so you got to know going into the room that it's going to look and feel for Black people, but it's not only for Black people, right? And I remember I was having a conversation with a friend of mine who was talking to one of their athletes specifically who was not Black and said, hey, you might operate in Black spaces. Sometimes you need to step into them and really embrace them. And so this might be a good opportunity for you to do that if you want to participate. If you're a CU athlete or somebody associated with CU, typically what we do is we send it out to all of our student athletes and our staff with an application for people to be able to apply.
Excellent.
And then we have a committee that selects applications based on how the application looks. We also do outreach directly to our athletes to say, hey, you might be a good candidate based on a recommendation by your academic advisor, your compliance coordinator, your assistant coach, whoever that might be, right? And so we do share far and wide to make sure that we get a good number of people who we can choose from.
We are getting ready to close out. I have so profoundly enjoyed this conversation. And because this podcast is called The Cause, I'd like to just go through and hear what some of your great causes are. Some of the you know, you have a platform today, right? This is going to be listened to hopefully for years to come. But what are some of the great causes for you? Things that, you know, you feel like really, really you are committed to or you'd like to commit to for the young folks, right? So, DaWon, would you start us off and model? What's one of your great causes?
So I'll share two specifically. The first one, outside of CU, one of the things that I also do is me and a really, really good friend of mine co-founded a organization called DICE. It's kind of like, it's pronounced like roll the dice, right?
Okay.
A couple years ago when I was at my previous institution, myself and one of my good friends, her name is Sheridan, we both occupy a very similar role as working in diversity in sport and athletics. And we were some of the first early adapters into this role. And so when we had our roles at our previous institutions, we were some of the first, I would call it first 30 or so in that industry. And we were young administrators who were, 25, 26, 27, fresh out of grad school, fresh out of internship, connecting with our student athletes, and are tagging us with this diversity job and say, hey, go help the diversity, right? There was no guides because these jobs didn't exist before.
Okay.
The work existed, but the jobs didn't.
Wow.
Right?
Teach.
And so we were talking one day after a conference, after the NCAA Impact Forum, and she's like, hey, have you ever thought about some community work for people in our role? And I'm like, I've thought about it. I don't really know how that looks in actuality. And she's like, well, let's make something. And so we created this organization called DICE. It helps serve individuals who are in diversity in sport or who support diversity in sport to provide community and resources to one another.
Wow.
And so now we meet on a monthly basis. We started in 2020. We're 5 years strong, registered 501c3. And so DICE is near and dear to my heart, and I give a lot of energy and credit to Sheridan to kind of planting that seed and pulling me in. And so that's one of the causes that's really, really deep to me, is because if I would have had something like that, it would have helped me coming into the game as a young person. And now I get the opportunity to help connect other people who are in similar roles or who want to follow in that pathway, right? So now they have a community and resources and old job descriptions and old programs that they can look through to say, oh, this is how I can do this, right? And so DICE is really, really important to me, and it's a cause that very, very integral to who I am and my role and who I am as a person too. And so that's the first one. The second one, very, very quickly, got to shout out my family, of course. Very passionate about my family. My wife, Brandy, she also works at CU.
Wow.
And my daughter, Nori, who was actually born here in Colorado, so she's a native Coloradan. And so feels good to always have them by my side and all the stuff I do. And, of course, the athletes I work with, they make everything worth it.
It's beautiful. Hey, man, thank you so much for sharing that. Is DICE an acronym for something? I'm sorry.
Yes, acronym is for the Diversity, Inclusion, and Equity Council of Excellence.
Wow.
DICE.
Okay, you better go ahead with your DICE.
So
Roll the dice.
It's very long, but it's
No, I love
a
it.
lot of folks know what it says.
You know,
It's just
listen, man,
DICE, so.
some people said the name of my center is long and a mouthful. What, you can't say the cause? You know, it's real simple.
Yes.
Like, you need to stop all that. And so, again, at least we truncated it or we made it. You know how African Americans love some vernacular culture. We love to have we love to have a little name for something, a little nickname, a pet name, or something like that.
Yep.
And it's very meaningful. There is no student that I've worked with, no administrator like yourself, no staff member that I've been here who's not committed to a great cause. In fact, I think it's almost like this is an oasis. You know, I don't know what they're doing at other public universities. I'm spoiled because I've been out here for 20 years. It's not to say that every day's been a good day, but I've had enough good days out here to create, something.
Right.
And this is my cause. This center, you're sitting in my cause. Sydney, you up next. Can you share with us one of your great causes?
I think my main cause stems from just looking from as a Black woman, looking through a lens of like the Black community as a whole and how we approach mental health and how it's really stigmatized.
Yes.
And we basically just don't talk about it.
True.
So growing up, I've grown up with a family that kind of functions like that. And so my main cause is becoming the first doctor of my family. Wow. That's my biggest one. I really want to do that because most of my parents, most of my family did not finish college. Okay. So I'd be the first one to do that. And then on top of that, I want to be the person that young Black people and just people of color in general could come to and be like, look, I actually do need help. Can you help me? Because you're a Black woman and I trust you. Like, there's not enough of us in that field. So what really gets me going is being that person. And that's what gets me through everything. So.
Wow. Cindy, can I just say I really appreciate that share. You are right. There is a taboo in the Black community around talking about mental health and wellness. Sydney, can I share with you, that's one of the reasons I like Kendrick Lamar so much. I feel there's a section in my forthcoming book on Kendrick Lamar where I talk about Kendrick Lamar being a mental health rapper. He actually talks very openly about his struggles. And, you know, Sydney, I say the same thing about Rhapsody as well. Rhapsody be talking about, if you get Rhapsody new album, y'all, she be talking about some stuff. She put me on game, if I can be perfectly honest with you. And so I think that, Sydney, you all are a part of a whole generation of young Black folk who are teaching a lot of us, elder folks, a lot of us who are older than you, how to sort of get in touch with our emotions, how to talk more about, you know, different kinds of struggles. And you all are also teaching us that our mental health care is just as important as our physical health care. So I'm shouting you out right here loud on the podcast so everybody will know. Sydney, can I just ask, here I come, Sophia, get ready for me. Sydney, is that why you chose psych as a major?
It is. I chose psych as a major to know more of like why we actually think that way and then kind of relate it back to like how I've grown up.
Yes.
But yeah, I supplement psych with all like the other stuff that I need to do for pre-med. But I did find that like just actually having the tool of like psychologically understanding like why Black people kind of feel like as though they need to like suppress those thoughts.
Right. And be strong all the time, right?
Yeah, it actually kind of like adds up now. Like I actually have the scientific like reasoning behind it and it makes sense.
Sydney, this is really, really powerful. Have you ever heard of the Association of Black Psychologists?
I have.
Right? All right, so ABPSI.
Yep.
Right? So you're talking to a member of ABPSI, right?
Nice.
Somebody who's really, really into it, though. So for me, I do think us getting in touch and aligning our heads with our heart, right? Getting in touch with our emotions, how we feel. Let me say, I think that you and JB especially almost have a double burden. Why? People think that Black athletes are impervious to pain. They see the way you move with your body. They see this. And I think this is also why my friend Coach Prime is doing a real service when he said, I'm having some health struggles. I'm dealing with this or that or the other. It helps to turn a light that, y'all are people too. You feel pain. You feel suffering just like everybody else. And we're not beasts of burden, right? And so on and so forth. So just because, JB, you might be swole up over there, you have feelings too, right? And it's important for us to be able to articulate that and to create spaces where you all can be vulnerable as well. And we'll check this out. You ain't going to win every time.
Nope.
We would like that, but you're going to hurt yourself trying to do that. I'm going to stop, DaWon. But I'm just saying, though, right? It's really important for people to sort of humanize you all. I think that if there's anything that I want people to walk away from this podcast, if they're wondering, why would I sort of devote this much time to it? Number one, people need to see y'all as human. First and foremost, right? And multidimensional. You're more than simply the sport, right? That you are participating in and contributing to. Without further ado, I got Sweet Sophia coming up next. Please, what is your great cause?
Well, first, we love Black mental health. As a daughter of a Black therapist,
Ooh,
we would like to hear it.
Shout your parent out.
But yeah, I think my cause is, one really big one for me is my grandmother, honoring her and honoring, she grew up in segregation in the South. She saw the I Have a Dream speech live.
What?
Yeah, and her and my grandfather really laid the stones and like steps for me to have an education and flourish. And, they were the first generation to go to like college within segregation and get out of segregation and all that type stuff. So she's one of my main causes in honoring her legacy. And, she's 95 now and still kicking it and living by herself and doing what she do.
Wow.
And then I think my other cause is like, because of her allowing the space to have not only Black people, but Black athletes be seen. I think talk is talk and, it's good to talk, but there's something real special about being seen in a room where you're not. And even if it's just like that head nod or that dapping someone up, whatever it is, it makes a difference. And, walking on campus, I make sure to make eye contact when I see another
DaWon,
Black
are you
person
hearing this?
because you gotta be seen. So, I think going into career and stuff, making sure that I can be the person who lets, if it's a room full of 100 of them or just one of them, let them be seen.
JB, are you with me?
Yes, Lord.
Okay, check this out, bro. What is your major cause or a major cause of yours, man? You looking real smart up off in here today. Come on, talk to me.
I'll say I have two, and they kind of both the same. But the first one I would say is connect, inform, and educate. So like connect with the youth as far as in like events, social media, letting them be able to connect to me and not just feel like, playing football like you just Superman or something.
Right.
You could DM me, I'll hit you back, and we could talk about something other than just sports. And
That's beautiful.
And then information, just putting information in front of them, or telling them what I know, or getting them different business avenues instead of just football. Like, it's more than sports. We so smart and don't even realize it, because just growing up, everybody in the Black culture, especially in the hood, is just play football, make it out, get your mom out the hood.
Right.
But it's not pushed on you. Hey, you can get out the hood too with an education. I mean, the OGs in the hood will tell you, hey, go to school and ball on the field, but nobody telling you how. So they informing you, but they're not putting nobody in front of you to educate. So that's why my third one is to educate. So once I inform them on those things, putting the right people in front of them, or mentor them to educate them. And then for me personally, my family legacy, I want my family to be great.
Yes,
like,
sir.
when you hit a Brown last name, I want you to think like, okay, them boys, they the truth. They gave back to the community. They uplifted the community. There's nothing but good things to say about them. I don't want to be remembered for like what I did on the football field or anything like that. I want to be remembered for how I treated the person next to me, or just a random custodian or something. Like, everybody's the same in my eyes. Nobody's above nobody.
JB, I'm dialing it down, brother. Showing you my sincerity. Appreciate you. Hey, man, that ethic, that sense of generosity, that sense of community that you have, I hope that you will keep it. Even when you get all them zeros in that check and everything, I hope that you will still be real. Hey, man, one of the things I want to share with you all is you have to have a backup plan. I've been here for 20 years. I've taught a lot. I've sent people in NFL, NBA, all the way around. But if you blow a shoulder, you hurt a knee, you have to have a backup plan. Y'all are so smart till you can automatically just come over here with me and get one of these PhDs in critical ethnic studies, right? African American studies. So I ain't trying to steal y'all people, DaWon, but I'm just saying you got to have a backup plan, right? And so for me, it's really important. CU gets a lot from y'all. Make sure that you're getting your education. I'm being very serious. I hope y'all parents listen to this. I'm being very, very serious about you. Make sure that you get your education as well. It's a passport. Look at somebody like me from the public housing projects, right? Nobody in my family ever went to a college or a university. No limits. I know I sound like Master P. No limits. There are no limits on what we can and cannot do. All right, as we get ready to close out, I think it would only make sense to end with my brother, my friend, DaWon Baker. And so this question is for you, kind sir. Looking ahead, what is your vision for the future of inclusion in collegiate athletics, say 5 to 10 years from now? What is the big, bold change you'd like to see?
The first one that comes to mind, and it sounds selfish, but I promise it's not, is my individual particular role is across the entire collegiate landscape. Right now, CU is still one of the only, and when I say only, there are 1,100 NCAA athletic programs, right? 1,100
Wow.
across all 3 divisions.
Wow.
And there are still less than 300 that have this role. The bigger things is I think this role itself is so important that it should be on every campus. Right. It should be in every athletic department, especially with the way that athletics looks in this country. And so that's one of my big ones, is to have a individual role and job for someone to be able to do this. Will that happen? I'm not sure, but that's probably the biggest one that comes to mind. I would say the second one is, now this is specific, in my opinion, to Black athletes. I would love to see Black athletes start to extract the value that they actually can from the industry itself. Similar to what you said, we take so much from our athletes and we give them enormous things, right?
Yes.
We give enormous opportunity. We give it enormous exposure, all those types of things. But I have too many conversations with athletes that are saying that they wish they would have got more out of it. Mm-hmm. And my hope is in 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 50, 100 years is that the more you start to talk to Black athletes, that you hear that significantly less. And it's not just dollars, right? Because we are, paying some good dollars to our student athletes. For example, I had one student athlete that I was talking to last year that just finished. I asked them a very simple question. I said, did we take care of you? And they told me no. And
wow.
I want that answer to be yes more often than not just here, but everywhere, because we might take care of you athletically. We might put you in position to go to the next place athletically, but it doesn't mean that really we took care of you.
That's good.
And so
that's good.
That's my other big one, is to make sure that the answer is yes more often than it is no in the future.
Wow. We got to close out. It has been a great pleasure to have our very, very special guests with us today. My brother, my friend, DaWon Baker, sweet sister, Sydney, and my sweet sister, Sophia, as well. We had brother JB from the CU Buffs football team in here with us today. Thank y'all so much for being here, for being on the podcast. Thank y'all so very, very much.
Thank you for joining us for the Cause Podcast with Dr. Reiland Rabaka. For your letters, questions, and suggestions regarding the podcast, email us, thecause@gmail.com. CAAAS. We may even read your letter on the air. The Cause Podcast with Dr. Reiland Rabaka is produced and edited by John Arnold and is a production of the Center for African and African American Studies, The Cause, at the University of Colorado Boulder. For more information, visit us online at colorado.edu/center/cause. CAAAS.
Class is in session, so come and get your lesson. Ooh, the Cause Podcast. I love that.